Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. The Holy Father, Pope Francis, began his three-day apostolic visit to Kazakhstan today, Tuesday, September 13. The pontiff is visiting the Central Asian nation to take part in the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions and to encourage the small community of Catholics. The Holy Father was given a rousing reception at the Nur Sultan Nazarbayev International Airport in the Kazakh capital Nur Sultan at 5:45 p.m. local time. From the airport, he was taken to the palace of President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, where he held discussions with the head of state. Following this discussion with President Tokayev, the Holy Father had a meeting with civil authorities and members of the diplomatic corps at the Kazakhstan Central Concert Hall. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 14, he will be taking part in the Congress, where he will get a chance to interact with Muslim leaders from Saudi Arabia, Iran, Central Asia, and other nations. In Kazakhstan still, the Catholic Bishop of Holy Trinity Almaty has said that the presence of the pontiff would be a fruitful time for the small Catholic community. Bishop Jose Luis Mumbiela Sierra said that the apostolic visit would help believers understand the meaning and mission of their presence in the Muslim-majority nation. He said the theme of the visit, Messengers of Peace and Unity, not only indicates the vocation of Christians in Kazakhstan, but also explains the meaning of the Pope's presence. Bishop Sierra added that the papal visit has global significance at a time when the world is witnessing war, the pandemic, and fears of an escalation of violence. Bishop Sierra added, quote, "The presence of the Pope at the Congress constitutes an opportunity and a channel to speak to the whole world," end quote. Ahead of the Pope's apostolic journey to Kazakhstan, Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin expressed hope that the 7th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions become an opportunity for encounter and dialogue given the ongoing war in Eastern Europe. In an interview with Vatican News, where he also said that war is never an inescapable event as it has its root in the heart of a person. Such a heart, he said, is hardened and unable to open up to others. He also said that the Congress underscores the fruitful diplomatic ties between the Holy See and the Central Asian country. The Holy Father has released his third message for World Youth Day 2023, which will take place in the Portuguese capital, Lisbon. In his final message, the Pope recalled the theme of the previous World Youth Day in Panama, which was, "I am the servant of the Lord, may it be done to me according to your word." He said, in such troubling times, Mary shows to all of us, especially young people like herself, the path of proximity and encounter. The pontiff then expressed his hope that the experience of the youth will represent a new beginning for them in the World Youth Day as well as for humanity. He also pointed to the example of Mary going in haste to the hills to meet her cousin Elizabeth as a sign of her design to serve. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch said he hopes the results of an internal probe into the leak of a draft opinion on the overturning of Roe v. Wade would be out soon. He said the Chief Justice appointed an internal committee to oversee the investigation while speaking at the 10th U.S. Circuit Bench and Bar Conference in Colorado Springs on Thursday, September 8th. It was his first public comment since the verdict of the Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization that led to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Justice Gorsuch said the committee constituted to conduct the probe is busy, adding that they are looking forward to the report. The Wall Street Journal reported that Justice Gorsuch has not made it clear if the probe report would be made public. The U.S. state of Utah has now given parents more rights over their children's education. The state school board passed a regulation on September 8th, giving parents an upper hand in what their children learn and the textbooks they use. The new directive calls for public transparency in how the schools choose the books and the educational system they follow. Board members have now made it mandatory for school districts and charter schools to be transparent and open with their instructional materials and in the choice of books. With the current modification, each curriculum committee in a school is now required to have at least one parent who is reflective of the school's community and has a child enrolled there. The board passed the rule stating that students' parent is the primary person responsible for the education of the student. A small Greek Orthodox church that was destroyed in 9/11 attacks is all set to reopen its doors to people of all faiths and nationalities on November 1st. The reopening of the church, which has been rebuilt as a symbol of peace and love, takes place almost 21 years after the terror attacks in New York on September 11, 2001. It was the St. Nicholas Church that was rebuilt as the St. Nicholas National Shrine. The reconstruction was undertaken under the auspices of the Friends of the St. Nicholas organization. Its chairman, Michael Pizarros, said that the new St. Nicholas National Shrine was consecrated on July 4th because it symbolized the American values of religious freedom, a defined symbol opposed to forces of religious intolerance around the world. In the communist Vietnam, where the Catholic Church is quite vibrant, the first native female religious congregation is celebrating its 350th anniversary. Nuns belonging to the Lovers of the Holy Cross recently gathered in Ayutthaya in Thailand to celebrate the 350th anniversary of the founding of the congregation by French Bishop Pierre Lambert de la Motte in 1672. This order was established as a diocesan congregation by Bishop Pierre at the Kin Lao in the northern part of Vietnam. The Lovers of the Holy Cross experienced severe trials and tribulations over the centuries. In the mid-19th century, some 2,000 nuns were dispersed because of the religious persecution of Vietnam rulers. As many as 30 convents were closed down. To escape persecution, the nuns were forced to wear lay attire and work in the rice fields. Although they regrouped in 1867, they again went through hardships during the Vietnam War. Finally, it was in the 1980s that they re-established themselves and began spreading across the world. As part of the initiative of the Council of European Bishops' Conference, or the CCEE, the Church in Poland is set to celebrate September 14 as the Day of Prayer for Ukraine. In the liturgical calendar, that day marks the Feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross. The Day of Prayer is organized to express solidarity with the victims of the war in Ukraine and to sensitize the international community to the issue of assistance to war refugees. Archbishop Stanisław Godecki, head of the Polish episcopate, said that the Church in Poland wants to join this initiative with an open heart. Archbishop Godecki added that during the prayer, they would also remember the perpetrators of this attack and seek their conversion. He expressed hope that this day of prayer would obtain the gift of peace for Ukraine and would be a show of solidarity of Europeans with the Ukrainians. Islamist militants affiliated with the Islamic State killed 30 civilians in Mali, Africa's Sahel region. The pro-government militia said on Friday, September 9th, that the attack took place in a town near the border of Burkina Faso and Mali. The area is plagued by violence linked to jihadist outfits. Since 2012, Mali has been rocked by instability when the militants started a rebellion led by ethnic Tuaregs in the north of the country. Since then, thousands have lost their lives and more than 2 million people have been displaced in Mali as well as neighboring countries. The militants attacked Talataye in Gao region, looting shops and burning food grain. By the time pro-government militia rushed to the area, the militants had caused enough mayhem. In March 2022, the UN peacekeeping force in Mali expressed concern over the worsening internal security in the country. The head of the Nigerian episcopate has deplored the insecurity facing the nation, which is passing through one of its darkest phases in history. Archbishop Lucius Iwergurju Ugurji of Owerri made this observation while addressing the second plenary assembly of Nigerian bishops in Urlu, the state of Imo. He said the plight of the ordinary people has been aggravated by soaring unemployment, inflation, collapsing economy, and worsening security. The Archbishop made mention of the insurgency, violence, and kidnappings of bandits and the trigger-happy security agents. No place in the country is safe anymore, said the prelate, adding that homes, farmlands, highways, places of worship, and presbyteries have been turned into killing fields. Archbishop Lucius said this scenario has prompted young people to go abroad through illegal routes. A British pro-life organization, Right to Life, has alleged that as many as 3,526 submissions from the public regarding the assisted suicide bill were removed. It was lawmaker Liam MacArthur who conducted a consultation on this assisted suicide bill that was closed on December 22, 2021. When the results of the consultation were released last week, Right to Life found that all submissions by members of the public who were part of the outfit's campaign were excluded. This has resulted in calls for the government to initiate an immediate independent review of the way the consultation process was handled. The spokesperson of the outfit, Catherine Robinson, said Liam MacArthur appears to have rigged the outcome of the consultation by removing all the 3,526 submissions made to back the campaign. She said that all submissions opposed the bill, while the ones that were retained supported euthanasia. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.